Welcome back to another episode of The Ish. I'm Janine.
And I'm Keisha.
And we're really excited today. We have a very special guest. She's truly one of a kind. You've probably seen her on TV, heard her on the radio, or caught her dropping gems on social media. She's a therapist, a sex therapist.
And how much sex ideally will we like to have a week? One of y'all is going to be like, every day. You ain't having sex every day.
She has this amazing way of making therapy seem like fun and less invasive. And so today we're going to dig a little into your journey, talk about all things that are you. Welcome to the show, Spirit.
Yay! And I love this because I get to be off.
Us asking you the questions.
Yes!
We brought you to the sofa.
Yes, I'm on the couch. It's the other couch. Yes.
So speaking of you being on the couch, you have come a long way in your career.
Yeah.
I want to say you've done radio, you've done television, but also, I don't know if you still currently do, but you also used to see clients day to day, correct?
I still do.
So you still see clients day to day.
That'll always be the thing.
I want to know, what was that transition? How did you go from a therapist who sees clients every day on your sofa to becoming this media personality?
Okay, so believe it or not, the media came before the client.
Really?
Yes. And that was because when I was in undergrad, I had a girlfriend who was at Clark, Atlanta. I went to school in the AUC. So
Okay.
shout out Mo Brown. Yes. And she was she was a mass comm major. And her final project for graduation, she had to do a reel, like an air check. And it's like what you do in order to like show what a radio show would sound like. And so she was like, all right, so I need you to we were like on set one day, just like we work as extras on films and stuff. So I was doing like little extra
So you
stuff.
were already doing that kind of stuff.
Okay, so back up.
How many lives have you had?
Okay, so let me back up and say, okay, so before I was in Atlanta, I'm originally from Los Angeles. And in LA, like everybody works as like an extra. That's how you just like pick up money. You're on a game show, you're in a studio audience. So when I got to college, I was like, that's an easy way to just be able to make money.
Got it. It was a side
Right?
hustle.
There we go. There we go. So we're chilling on the set.
Anything we would know?
Twab was the first one. Now, y'all
Twab.
are a little young.
No,
Y'all are a
we
little
know
young.
Twab.
Okay. So I was in this real cute scene with Shamar Moore. He walked by
Oh.
and I was like, hey, man. How you doing?
Oh, we
Right?
got to run
So-
that back. We got to
no,
see
no,
that.
no. Although I do have people run stuff back now. They'd be like, that was you. Yes. So when we were on the set in between breaks, I just love to have conversations. Like I've always been a conversationalist. So we used to have like really good relationship conversations in between before they would go quiet on the set. And so on this particular day, she was like, Spirit, listen, so I need you to do exactly what you were doing on the set last week. That's going to be like the theme for this show. And I didn't think anything about it. It was like, all right, girl, I got you. So long story short, now at that point, I didn't know anything about radio. No idea. So she calls me down. We go down. It's a talk radio station. It's 1380 WAOK in Atlanta. Okay. I still remember this to this day. And it's like a Saturday, maybe a Sunday. I don't even know. But we're just playing on the radio. So we ain't doing nothing that subscribes to radio, like starting at the top of the hour, ending on the clock. Girl, we just like punch in. It's like 6:22. We're just like, hey, Atlanta, like, what's good? And so she said, you can talk about anything that you want to talk about. Now, I should preface this by saying that the radio show or that station had just gotten bought. It was a gospel station before that. Okay. So it was like gospel all the time.
Okay.
And then they crossed over to talk radio. So I was like, I want to talk about sex.
Going straight from the pew to...
Right. So she was like, okay, so I got to warn you though, because the audience has been used to gospel for like 50 years. Like pastors listen to this station and everything. So I was like, oh, perfect. How about we do why is sex talk in the Black community so taboo? She was like, I'm hooked. Let's go. Run it. So long story short, we punch in. And that is exactly what we start talking about. And I'm just playing, hey, y'all, it's your girl Spirit. I'm just like here. And you know, Black folks, we got some problems. Like, why is it that we won't talk about sex? We're like the most conservative group in the country and blah, blah, blah. And the pastors were calling like, what in damn
You heard your name and were like, oh, Spirit, we don't have nothing to worry about.
Right at first. But little did they know. Okay. So long story short, we had a really great time. We were supposed to do like 10, 15 minutes, just enough to like get a flavor. But we wound up doing an hour because we were just playing, having a good time on the air. And the phone lines were just going crazy. So when it was over, I was like, that was fun, girl. I hope you get that A. I hope you get the show. Like, because we all need jobs after graduation. Okay. So long story short, fast forward to the program director loves it. She was going to hire, if she got the job, somebody to come from California. So she calls me one day and she's like, girl, I got some good news and some bad news. I said, all right, well, good news first, always positive. She says, the good news is he loved the show. I got an A on the project and they want to do the show. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, you I said, so what's the bad news? He said, there's no budget.
Oh,
So they will not bring the person from California. And I was like, damn, girl, so what you gonna do?
What are you going to do?
She was like, well, that's why I'm calling.
Oh, you weren't catching on.
No. I wasn't hip at that point. So I was like, oh, no, that's a no. Because remember now, I'm in school. This is going into my master's program. I was like, I'm not licensed. I can't do any of that. And she's like, girl, this is entertainment. Like, you don't have to. Just do what you did. And I was like, absolutely not. I am not going to put my career out there like that. You trying to get me to lose my license before I even get started. All the things. So I was dodging and weaving for about like 2 weeks. She was like trying to hunt me down. She's leaving voicemails. Girl, don't think that you are, I'm gonna come and see you. So long story short, finally, after I like really told her, no, it wasn't going to happen. The program director from the station called me and I was like, he said, listen, she already told me you don't want to do it. That's cool. Just come and have a conversation with me. I'm just curious. I want to put the voice with the face. Long story short, we get in there. He asked me about what do you want to do in the world? What does it mean for you to be in mental health? And he asked me a really key question. He says, if you could help as many people as you could in one day, how many people could you help? Because I get that you love this and this matters. And I said, okay, so like if I just don't take a lunch, go straight through? Yes. I said, I could do a solid 8. I could do it. No lunch. I'm just kidding it. He said, well, how many people do you think you were talking to on the radio? And before that, I had never considered that. And he said, Spirit, you were talking to 250,000 people every 15 minutes. So you say you care, you say you want to help people. Do you want to help 8 people a day or do you want to help 250,000 people every 15 minutes?
Can I interject? Only to say, it's interesting that you say that, and here we are. We on the couch interviewing you, and you giving us the advice. But when we first started this show, right, we were both kind of like, I don't know. Do we really want to put ourselves out there? Do we want to do this?
So I had a whole conversation with her about it.
Because it's a hard thing to put yourself out there, right? But for us both, even when we started our salon, we're passionate about helping people, women in particular, right? And so with this show, our goal has always been to make every woman that sits on our couch feel relatable to our audience, no matter where they are in life, but to also make our audience feel like, you know what? I could be her, right? Nothing she's did or said is unobtainable. And even still, as much as I'm passionate about it and I want to help people and I want to do that, there was always still a little bit of hesitation of, do I really want to commit myself to this? Do I really want to put myself out there? But what you just said hit home, because I can sit and talk to a girlfriend and give her all the advice in the world. And people can call me and ask me all types of questions, but I'll never reach as many people as I would like to unless I do it in front of these cameras.
Because what they will teach you is that the media magnifies the message. This is the megaphone. So if you really want to help people, and the reality is they don't care about you anyway. They don't.
They care about what they're going to get.
That's what I had to learn
right?
along the way.
Yeah.
Right. You are the keeper of the information. You are the keeper. You are the voice that lets them hear the answers to your guests that they want to hear. So while they love you and they go, come on, they're rooting for you. And as folks have told me along the way, either they love you and they're rooting for you or they hate you, but they still watching. Right.
Still
So
watching.
either way, you're winning. Okay.
Speaking of helping people, I think we have some scenarios to go over with you.
Fun.
So we have some stories, kind of like some scenarios. We call it, can you believe this ish?
Okay. Oh, I like that. That's real
So
cute.
we're going to go through the
Okay.
scenario, and then you're going to give us your expert opinion based on the scenario.
All right. Who want to go first?
You'll
Want me to
go
go
first.
first? Okay. All right. So we surveyed a few people. Okay. They gave us the questions and now we're presenting them to you. Okay. All right. Person number 1, anonymous. I'm 24 years old and my man is 36. He is attractive, mature, and successful. He's a hard worker. He works 2 jobs. So I try to be supportive because, as you know, it's hard to find a good man. But his scheduling is really stressing me out. He has a 9 to 5, which is cool. Sometimes he FaceTimes me from there or I'll meet him for lunch. But then he also has a second job where he is what he calls an essential worker. He works the overnight shift and weekends. He even has to work on some holidays, which require him to see me the day before or the day after that holiday.
Girl, he lying to you.
Such as Valentine's Day. We saw each other on the 15th.
Oh.
Thanksgiving, he worked a double. So we ate leftovers together. I'm not sure where he got the leftovers from if he was working. Christmas, I saw him on the 26th. And on New Year, I didn't see him until January 2nd. I've never been to his home, but he comes to mine. He always has to rush out by 11:30 p.m. And he never spends the night. I'm trying to be as supportive as I can of his career because he is husband material, but I feel like he's not making me a priority.
Girl, because he's somebody else's husband, okay? But here's your husband material, right? Just not yours and probably not hers either, okay? Unless they're in an open relationship, but then you would have been to the house and you would have met the wife. But here's the good news. She is 24. So boo-boo, let's please recognize. And for all of us to sit back and laugh and go, how she don't know that? Remember, she's 24, okay?
That's a good point.
Right.
She's 24.
And she has not been married yet. So we want to help her avoid a starter marriage by first understanding you need to date a little bit more. You need to have a little bit more discernment. And what I tell folks is it doesn't matter what somebody else's situation is. The only thing that matters is, are you having the experience that you want to have? So if in that situation, she ain't having the experience that she want to have. She don't have to figure out what his situation is or what his crazy is. She wants to be prioritized. He ain't doing it. It's time to move.
Deuces.
Next.
I hope she's listening.
Listen, it's women that'll be 84 still
She's
being
gonna
like,
be-
I've just
come
never
on.
seen him on Christmas.
No, here's the thing, right? No, and don't realize that she on the side chick holiday.
Yep.
On the 15th.
Yep.
Come on.
I saw this a whole thing on Instagram. I was sending it to you guys. It was hilarious. Hilarious for me, but terrible for the situation. It was a woman who's been with a guy for over 20 years, ran down on her estranged husband, who isn't even that estranged, in the mall with a lady with 2 kids. Did you see this video?
I did.
It's crazy. And she's like, who are these kids? Are these your kids? And the lady's like, yeah. I mean, like, and she's
Like
like,
it's their kids?
It's the lady that he was with at the mall. It was their kids together, but this is the wife of 20 years. He had just reproposed to her in Greece to remarry her, renew their vows. And apparently the lady's like, oh, you're the 4th one.
The 4th
Like,
one.
But like some people are just good at it.
So she was
I guess.
clear. I'm not going nowhere. So
Yeah.
boo-boo, you number 4. I'll
Yeah.
introduce you to 5
So-
and 6 when
yep.
they get here too.
Yep.
We'll
It was
figure
a mess.
out.
Okay. Come
was
say
a-
hi to your
but it
other
happens.
mommy.
It happens. You gonna go over the second one? I have a game later that I'm gonna. It's a song.
Hold on.
Ooh, chair.
He told
Scrub.
You should go on and move on. Okay? Because here's the other part of this. You are 6 months in. Stop dating like he's your forever. This is the interview process. And if he already is now went from I have, don't worry, to do you got it and can you let me hold? Auntie, think about what's going to happen once you actually let him move in. And don't let him move in because he might be a hobosexual for all you know. A hobosexual. It is
hobosexual.
a hobo. He don't have no house and he will love you and love you down in order to have a place to stay.
That is a thing.
hobosexual.
That is definitely a thing.
It's something that I've coined, but yes. Okay, it's a
merch.
very real thing.
Listen, she lost me at the driving a car and don't fill up the tank. I hate going to the gas station. Give me an electric car.
Girl, he probably is
Charge it.
sitting in the passenger seat on the phone while she pumping the
Oh,
gas.
you know he don't pump gas.
Come on now.
No.
You know
Come
he
on now.
don't.
Unless he dropping her off at work so he can go back and play video games or go hang out with his boys
A hobo
in her
section.
car. Let's keep it moving.
I have another question. Asking for a friend.
off script.
Do you think it matters if you're going out with your significant other who drives? Is passenger princess really that horrible of a thing? Asking for a friend.
Listen, okay, so it is not that horrible of a thing as long as both people are into it. Now, I
Yeah.
will tell you this. I am not a passenger princess by any stretch of the imagination, but anytime I'm going somewhere with my husband, he drives. He drives, but it's not because he's like, come on, little lady, get in. It's not that. He loves to drive, and it's the one thing that actually lets him take his mind off of everything else so he can just focus on the road.
Okay.
So for him, that's like game time. That's like hidden pleasure. So
I'm
for
offended if
me-
I'm asked to drive. I'm
Are you?
I am
offended.
Are you?
real estate. I drive so much.
Yeah,
That I don't want. I will Uber. I'll be like, yeah, I'll
Interesting.
call us a car
really.
I
See,
don't
I'm
wanna
just,
drive.
I'm just built
because he
different.
judges my driving. So then
Oh
That-
no. Then you're gonna get throw punched. You're gonna get throw. You can't ask me to do something and then at the
judge
same
how I
time
do it.
judge it.
Okay, so that's, I guess, where I might be a little bit wrong because passenger princess me any day, but I hate my husband's driving. So the whole time I'm stressed out and I'm anxious and we're fussing the whole way. But I'm just glad
How
I did
you fussing the whole way?
Yeah, I can kind
because
of.
I mean, it's
Yeah, so you want to have it
uncomfortable.
both ways. You
Yes.
want to sit back and run your mouth, not sit back and ride.
I want to be a passenger princess and I want him to drive, but I also want him to be a better driver.
Girl, that don't sound very princess.
It's given.
It's gonna say
Queen.
Okay, okay, for every day.
Asking for a friend. Okay, last one. I'm a first-generation college student. I am currently a lawyer working to become the first Black woman partner of my firm. However, my family and friends where I grew up always have requests and expectations of what I should be doing for them. They often need to borrow money or ask me to do favors that are totally out of my comfort zone and take away from my time personally. I feel bad when I hear some of the stories and their needs. However, I'm not to the level where I want to be, but people see me as a lawyer and think I have unlimited funds. I'm repaying student loans and I have a mortgage just like they do. What should I do? Am I wrong if I don't help? Even when sometimes the person asking is my own mother.
Listen, survivor's remorse is real.
It's a real
okay?
thing. We talk about it all the
And
time.
That part. And you ain't gonna have a mortgage like they do. You gonna have a bigger mortgage than they do because you're gonna have bigger bills than they do. And so the real deal is if she doesn't set boundaries now, by the time she is actually a lawyer, it will be worse. So I love to tell folks, you don't have to feel shameful or guilty about setting boundaries with people who don't understand where you have been or where you're going. Okay, so it's one of those things that if she does not set the boundary, what they imagine her situation to be is always so much better. So if they're not picking up the check, if they're not helping that student loan bill, if they're not putting groceries in the house, you have to learn how to say no. It's hard, especially when it's mom, because you go, all the sacrifices that she made, all the everything that she did to be there for me. But oftentimes there's a lot of mamas who will take advantage of that.
For sure.
Real talk. That's not a
For
conversation that people
sure.
like to have.
For
But
sure.
all day. For sure. For cheesy.
For she-
I go to old school.
Mamas be milking it. That's gonna be the next T-shirt.
Yes, because everybody needs help. Mama's a human being too.
Okay, well, you give great advice across multiple genres.
Appreciate
So
it.
let's talk about your new show,
Ah,
right?
Yes.
You told us about radio, how you got into radio, and you've
Yes.
done a multitude of shows, actually.
Yes,
Not
I've
to
done a lot of
mention
shows.
Tyra Banks.
Yes.
Big deal.
Tyra was actually my very first national
I was
television.
gonna ask you that. Which was first? Because I've been seeing you for so many years.
Yeah, it was in 2008 was when I very first did national radio. So it was our national television. It was Tyra Banks, the all new Tyra Banks show, I think it was. And then there was the Ricky Lake show. And
Ricky
Oh, I miss Ricky
Lake.
Lake.
I've done
I
all
watched
of
it every
them.
day coming from school.
Me too.
Every day.
That one, I've done them all. Steve, Dr. Phil, you name it. Over the years, I've been in this game a long time. Like radio was like 2000, 2001, somewhere in there.
And you got these opportunities after, I guess, everyone became familiar with you on radio.
Yeah, it was just a really interesting thing. I knew that I wanted to do television after I got into radio. because producers started to hit me up. Now, this is going to sound really horrible. They said it, not me, okay? So folks would say when they would meet me, they would go, "Oh, you do radio. Why?" And I was like,
You
"What's
don't have
wrong
a
with
face for radio?
radio?"
You know, people will say that's a thing. Like,
I didn't know that that was a thing. I loved radio. I like talk radio. I like punching in live, talking to people, controlling, like hitting the buttons. And they were like, "Well, you know what they say about radio? That's ugly people's TV." And I was like, "I don't know what it is that you're speaking about." But they literally said that people that are not telegenic literally go into radio. Right.
not.
So
well, now new radio, they have cameras there too. So,
Yeah, true.
well, I wasn't sure because, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So it just depends on who it is that you're asking.
how did this show come about? Because I'm a Botched fan.
Are you?
Yes. In times where I
Okay.
feel like I just want to, spin a block, do a little something. I watch Botched and I'm like, girl, you don't want to end up on Box because you just keep doing stuff. I'm a long way from that, but
Interesting.
still, it's
Yeah.
like one of my guilty pleasures. But this is the rewind version.
Yes.
So how did this one come about?
Okay, so I am not a TV watcher, so I was not a Botched fan, but it doesn't mean I don't like Dr. G. That's like my dude, especially now. But what a lot of people don't know about mental health professionals is one of the things that we do are medical evaluations. So you may know if you like to get a little nip in the tuck here and there. But that's one of the things that, especially for more significant surgeries, people have to go to mental health professionals to make sure that they are psychologically fit
I don't
in
think
order
enough
to be able to have a
surgeons do
procedure.
that, but they should.
I
And
wish
it
that they
shows,
would.
yeah.
And I will also tell you that I've had folks who have said, "Well, if you don't sign off on my paperwork, I'm gonna just go somewhere else." And I'm like, "Well, good luck with that. You probably need to, and then still come back and see me when that doesn't fix what the actual problem is." Right. So fast forward to this, that's exactly why I got the call. So it was that they were really looking to do a plastic surgery rewind. The show literally features folks who have had procedures over the years and they're thinking that they want something rewound. And so they knew that that was some of the work that I do. I've worked with celebrities in front of the camera, in front of the microphones, but more so behind, right? Because like I said, I'm still a therapist. And so it's one of those things like, as they say, it's like the California raisins, whisper my name through the grapevine or ask for a good therapist through the grapevine and my name usually will
Oh, I'm
come
gonna
up.
totally go watch
Hallelujah.
the California Raisins.
Again, I'm
haven't
from
heard that in
LA.
years. I
Yes.
used to love the California Raisins. I'm literally gonna go watch
Right,
it.
right. So when people find me and I go, so I'm always like, "So how did you find me?" And then I whisper, "Your name floats through the grapevine." "Oh, okay, well, I'm just the California raisin, then I guess that's what it is. But that was really the point of the show. And one of the things that I am known for in the industry is just straight no chaser, but always from the heart. I really care about helping people to understand what mental health really means and that everything begins and ends with mental health. So folks know I like to kind of put the medicine in the candy, so to speak. So this was a lot of medicine that was needed in this show because you're talking about plastic surgery. So I was really excited to be a part of it when they told me kind of what the idea was. I tried to get them to shoot it in Atlanta though, because they wanted to do it in Hollywood. And they were like, "We're going to do a med spa." And I was like, "I have one. We don't have to go back home." But yeah, but it was a really fantastic.
How was that filming at home? Like where you're from? Had you been
you
there
know-
since you were younger?
Oh yeah, because all
Okay.
my families, I'm the
Okay.
only one that's in Atlanta, and then my brother travels all over the world. So every time I go home, I'm like, "Okay, listen, I'm coming home. It is not for you.
I'm coming home
Okay,
to work.
it is for work. Okay, no, I'm not coming down to San Bernardino. No, I'm not coming up the hill up the Cajon Pad. No, you cannot come on set." And then they still come on set. They always go, "I know what you do. I want to see." So I'm like, "Can you please just act right?" Because I always say one day, if ever I'm like really super famous, I'm like TMZ kind of famous, I'm like, I am not the show. It is my family.
Right.
Heaven help me. Because it's going to be nasty. So, but they love to come and they are hilarious every time they're on set. Because I'm like, "Please don't embarrass me. Okay." So
They
when you
miss
see
you every
him,
time.
I'm like, when you see Mr. Harvey, and then all of a sudden he'll be behind me, and I can tell because their eyes go from me to Steve. Oh my gosh, Steve! And I'm like, "Oh,
Out the
I'm
window.
sorry. I'm sorry."
I'm sure he understands.
Just my cousin TT.
That I have already warned him up ahead. Although he's so funny. He actually, the first time I met him, thought that I was his daughter because he didn't have his glasses on.
Oh my
And
God.
everybody
Y'all two got a
says that-
favor.
yeah,
I
they
can see
think
that.
we favor each other.
on,
And
daughter.
look, I need the money. I was like, when he said it, I was like, "Well, hello, Daddy. How you doing?"
Hey, Daddy.
I need a stepfather. Let's go.
It's so interesting. We've talked about this with someone else, just how a lot of the girls are reversing the
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a big deal. So with body dysmorphia, I know Tammy Roman came forward recently and talked about it. What does that look like? How do you know if you have body dysmorphia?
You don't know. That's the problem. That's why mental health professionals are so necessary, because that's literally a clinical diagnosis. And I'm glad that more people are talking about just body image. I'm glad we're talking about mental health. I'm glad that folks are thinking about reversing procedures. But what it means, just the long and short of it, is you don't see yourself realistically. So when you look at yourself, depending on whether it's your entire body or a certain body part, you have a very distorted view of that. And so you will continue to go through procedure after procedure after procedure. And if you watch the second series of the show, if it gets picked up, then hello, come on. I'm ready to go back and hit it again. But the idea is you will see, even in the first series, you can go back and take a look. You'll see there were some activities that I put the cast through. And one of the things that I had them do was I divided up their body parts like a huge human puzzle. And then they had to put the puzzle pieces together.
Wow.
Yeah. But for the parts that they were thinking about reversing, I did different sizes that were distorted. Some were too small and some were too big. And then I said, put your actual body together the way that it looks. And so if you go back and look, you will see them go, when I say, that's not a smaller size. What? Are you kidding
Really?
me? No, you've chosen a much larger size than what you actually look like. You've got to be kidding me. And so it's hard for us to really see ourselves. And so when we hyperfixate on certain parts of the body, it's really easy for our view of it to become distorted.
In the case of like a Tammy Roman, right? I don't know if you've seen images of her lately. She's clearly lost a substantial amount of weight. She's very, very thin. And she talks about it, that she just doesn't see herself the way the rest of the world does. I guess what I don't understand, is I get that it's a psychological disconnect, but the eyes themselves actually don't see.
You actually don't see. Our eyes lie to us about everything. It's why two people can watch something and see something totally different in the pieces, because it's not just your eyes. It is what we call bottom up, or is that right? Bottom up? Yep. Bottom up processing. So it is things in the outside world literally get filtered all the way up to your brain. Your brain decodes it, tells you what it means, and then shoots it back out to you. So it's not really your eyes. Your eyes are like, when they talk about it being the window to the soul, it's not your brain that actually draws the conclusion. It's just your eyes that are taking in the information.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think when I'm having a thought, I should probably let that happen instead of letting it go from my eyes to my mouth. I should probably let it go through.
Just let it marinate.
Let it take some time.
I love to tell my clients, you can think a thought, you can entertain a thought without having to act on it.
You don't have to open your mouth.
You
the
can
mouth
just
should be
park
last.
there. Just let it listen. You could just listen to it internally. Just observe the thought. Sit with it.
Going back a step to the plastic surgery part of the conversation. So outside of this show, obviously, the two of us own a beauty spa.
Oh, I know. I went and got my feet done.
Yeah.
I went and got my nails done before. Yes.
But because we're associated with the beauty industry, sometimes I feel in conversations with others, men in particular, but sometimes other women, they have opinions of the beauty industry in general, right? So whether it's the beauty industry or cosmetic procedures, they almost form judgments about why people should or shouldn't do these procedures. Matter of fact, we were just on a panel together. She moderated, I was speaking. Someone in the audience basically said that plastic surgery was shallow and didn't understand why there was a need for it.
What's happening with the world? A guy.
Right.
Probably one of the two guys that were in
the room.
Probably
had an
one of them
opinion.
that had a little tuck, nip.
And my response to that is always, I think people should do what makes them happy as long as it's coming from a healthy and healed place.
Yes.
If you are a mom, you finish having kids, and you want to do a little mommy work, then
A little mommy makeover.
Exactly. I don't think anything's wrong with that. However, that's just my opinion. I'm curious what your perspective is when it comes to plastic surgery and women altering the way they look.
Yeah, so first, let's recognize that men are now beginning to have plastic surgery too, in higher numbers than they
Just
ever
came back
had
from
before.
Turkey. A lot of hairline
Oh, come
on the
on.
flight.
Come
I wasn't
on.
mad at it
Listen.
at all.
Listen.
They were proud too. They were.
Come
I
on.
love it. I think it's great.
All the hair wraps,
The
everything is just.
The more secure men are, the
Yes.
better for everybody. But
Yes.
carry on.
Period. The world would be a less violent
Right.
place if
Yes.
they were a little
Get your
happier
things,
about
guys.
themselves, right? So that's like literally to your point. So everybody is thinking about it like there is this distorted way of existing, but nobody really thinks about the reverse, which is when you don't feel good about yourself, the toll that that takes on your mental health, the way that you show up. So if you are a mother who does not recognize her body and you start to disassociate from your body, which is different than dissociation for all of my folks in clinical diagnosis out there. We got a lot of pop therapists, okay? But if you don't feel disconnected, you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself, you will not show up well in your own body. You will not show up well in your parenting journey. You will not show up well with your partner and vice versa. So I think that we have to look at this on a case by case basis. For me, it is about what ultimately makes the person healthier. And we don't talk about, nor do we condemn individuals that actually do it for health reasons. What about women who are born with distortions, women and men, right? So you may have one breast that's larger than the other, or your buttocks may be lopsided, or you may have had procedures where certain parts of your muscle or your muscular skeletal frame are not functioning like they need to be. There's a lot of reasons why people pursue plastic surgery. Even on the show, there was a person who was assaulted due to a homophobic attack, and they totally wounded his face. He needed plastic surgery just to restore himself and some semblance of beauty and being able to showcase himself to the world. So I think it's really easy for us to overgeneralize. But the real deal is until it's you in your body and it's your doctor helping you to make that choice, everybody else sit down, have several seats, and go talk about sports.
Nah.
Real talk. You can track it. Bet on that.
Go fly a kite.
Yes, something.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Janine from the Ish Podcast.
And this is Keisha. We are coming to you live from our new home base for the Ish Podcast, the Collective Spaces, right in downtown Baltimore.
Yes, this is our new home, but it can also be yours too. Whether you're planning a full-on wedding, hosting a business meeting, having a birthday party, or a baby shower, Collective Spaces has something for you.
It's elegant, it's modern. You walk in here and you just feel the beautiful energy in this space. It's Black owned, it's woman led. You give back to your community by renting this space.
We love it here and we know you will too. So if you're interested in booking the Collective Spaces, you can find them on Instagram at the Collective Spaces MD.
You've done my favorite is the sex therapy stuff.
Oh,
but
that should be everybody's favorite.
it's
Sex
the best.
makes the world go round.
What I love is, and I've been in your sessions and things every year, and I also get free advice on the way down to the session, which is a part of our thing now.
Yes.
But what I love about the way you do it is people think that they're just going to learn about sex, and you get in deep.
Yes. I'm like, we can go as deep as you want to.
Right. She brings out the toys and all the things.
Yes.
But what I love is when people expect that, but when they get there, it's so much deeper than that. I learned love languages from you. I was communicating in my husband's love language, but I was communicating in my own love language to him. He was communicating in his own love language to me, but it was total opposite. So that was like life-changing to learn that. I love the way that you approach things. But you've done relationship stuff, you've done sex stuff, mental health stuff. Is there one calling for you that you think is like, this is my thing? Or is it all?
It's all mental health, right? It all goes back to mental health. Because even with sex, what I tell people is that literally sex is the litmus test for everything else in your relationship. So when I'm talking to couples and I'm like, when is the last time that you had sex and how good was it? Because it's not just about the frequency, but it's also about the quality. And oftentimes there can be incompatibility there. There are other barriers that stop people from having great sex. And really what people don't recognize is that physiologically we are made to climax. We are made to orgasm. We are made as sexual beings. Like sexual health is a really important part of our functioning. And it's also use it or lose it. So if you don't be careful, you mess around and you will have lackluster sex lives. And that is what's happening to the younger. Thank you.
Wow.
And the younger generation is actually having less sex than any other generation before them.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like they were freaky.
No, everybody's on their phone. And I think that I think from what I've seen from younger guys, the bodies, the over glamorization of everything.
She was like,
I'm trying to figure out how to say this the right
nice
way. It's I think it's a lot more superficial now. Yeah. So I think the standard for young guys to get turned on is different.
Yeah. Well, everything is distorted, right? Because it's not, again, sexual health. We don't look at it that way. So all the porn that we're watching, all of the distorted procedures that we're looking at. I saw something the other day where there was a woman, she was like laying on her back, or no, laying on her stomach by a pool. And the way that her butt was kind of just spread naturally, everybody was like, what is wrong with her butt? And folks
Because
were
it was
like,
naturally how it's
right.
supposed to
And
be.
we were like, the society, we become so distorted that we think it's supposed to like sit up on your back because the number of folks that have had BDLs. So because we don't talk about things like sex openly and naturally and really help people maximize that, there's a lot of shame, there's a lot of secrecy, there's a lot of, I don't know if I'm getting it right, I don't know if it should be like this. So we just get really quiet and people walk around being miserable.
So now we're just gonna get our own therapy session about sex.
Oh, come on. Come on.
How often should a married couple have sex?
There's no real number. It actually fluctuates based upon that couple's lifestyle. Okay. So what I will say is if you're having sex less than 6 times a year, and let's believe this. Yeah. Well, she was like, oh, we good then, boo. Let me call him. I told you I give it to you enough.
I thought she was going to say a week. I was I'm doomed.
No, see? She's like, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. Huh? No, but literally that some folks, we don't consider it a sexless marriage unless it's like 6 times a year or less, right? Which would literally be every other month. And I know for some folks, they're like, ain't no way in hell we get a divorce, right? But the reality is that some people, due to lifestyle, due to physical health, due to distance, like there's a lot of reasons why people aren't having as much sex as they would like to have or that they used to have. And I love to tell folks when you very first start having sex, it used to be when you very first get married, but most folks aren't waiting until then anymore. So, but it used to be when you very first start having sex, take a jar with a bag of beans, and every time you have sex, put a bean in it. Okay. In the first year. Then after that, only use those same beans. And what you'll find is, unfortunately, you'll have more and more beans left over if you're not careful.
So then that leads me to my next question. Why do you think it is that over time sex decreases? And I know that there are environmental things like, oh, the kids or work, but I also think that sometimes there can be other things that have to do with maybe aging or...
Yes, and we don't talk enough about perimenopause and menopause. I'm glad it's starting to get a little bit more shine in communities, but really women actually start heading into perimenopause in their 30s. And so sex drive starts to diminish. We don't talk about men actually enter into what's called andropause, which is a form of male perimenopause and menopause.
I've never even
And
heard
so-
that
I've never
term
heard
before.
that.
We see
Hey,
perimenopause
come on.
everywhere all the
Yes,
time.
that's why when he's irritable, when he's cranky, when you feel like I'm revving up and let's go, and he's like, stop. I just need one. I'm good. Yes, like their testosterone levels as their bodies change, the hormone cycles fluctuate, their sexual desires fluctuate. And so we really have to be careful of these things. And oftentimes we don't know that there are things that actually can help us. We don't know that that means we probably need to be looking at hormone replacement therapy. We need to be looking at other products. But really often what it usually is couples drift apart. Or they stop prioritizing sex and they just look up and they go, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. But they don't prioritize their energy. So by the time they get into the bedroom, they are literally halfway passed out before their head even hits the pillow.
Yeah.
So you
Are there
really
any
have to
tools
protect
that
it.
you can like to remain sexually energized, like after a
Yes.
long day?
Yes.
Are there things that you can do to kind of like get the day off you and like get into sexy time mode?
Okay, so the thing that people hate to hear the most, but is the most necessary, especially for super ambitious people, schedule sex.
Ooh.
Schedule sex.
We were
Oh,
gonna
they're
ask
both
you.
like, let me think about that, right? So you and your partner talk about it. How much sex ideally would we like to have a week? And usually one of y'all is going to be like every day. You ain't having sex every
Every
damn
day.
day, okay? You're just not. Unless, I mean, if you match, then there is the
Then
thing,
go
okay?
for it.
So, but it's like you figure out what is realistic for your schedule. You also think about it. Do we want nighttime or daytime? When are we the most alive? When do we have the most opportunity to be able to do that? And then you think about it. So, okay, every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, we're going to have sex, or we're going to be weekenders. Friday night and Saturday night, we getting it in. The kids, FTK. Y'all figure out what FTK means, okay? So you just kind of have to figure out how to work it. And what winds up happening is if you actually prioritize your energy, you will already know I need to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And what people find is that their sex life actually gets better because they're scheduling it. So I say it like this, like think about if you knew that your best girlfriend was coming over for a sleepover next week. How would you start practicing and planning before she comes? You'd be like, oh, I'm going to wear this. Oh, we're going to do this. Oh, I'm going to go buy this. I'm going to stop over here and pick this up. I'm going to go make sure I'm ready. When you start to schedule sex, you do the same thing. And because you know it's coming, it automatically starts to cue the body because the foreplay and the arousal starts to settle in.
So it doesn't make it feel like a chore or a task?
No. That's what people think it's going to happen. And they think that that means like they're falling out of love because in their mind, sex is supposed to be spontaneous. We're supposed to swing from the chandeliers. If you don't have the kids done, if you don't have the clothes for tomorrow laid out, you ain't swinging from nothing because you're going to be laying there thinking about, oh, I got to get that done. I got to get that done.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, baby, why aren't you into it? Why don't you want it? Oh, you must not want me. Now we have problems. Don't worry about it. I'll go get it from somewhere else. I don't even want to bother you. And then that creates a whole bunch of problems too. So it's like, we got to talk about it. We got to plan for it. And we got to protect the space and our energy in order to make it all that we want it to be.
That's interesting. Is a low libido a real thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And is it usually more mental or is it more of a body thing?
The body thing. Yeah, it's literally hormonal because
Some
you're
people think
talking
it's a
about
myth. Like
it's not.
something to say.
Listen, no,
Okay.
listen. It literally low libido literally has to do with estrogen levels, testosterone levels. It can lead to vaginal dryness. It can lead to, especially if you have like high blood pressure issues and some of those other things and blood flow changes. So erectile dysfunction sets in. It happens with aging. Sex used to be wonderful and easy and natural, and now it's painful, it's awkward. The positions that you used to love, you don't. How much time you used to want to do it, you don't. You're sitting there doing grocery lists and did I send that email and everything else? All of that can affect your libido, but your libido can also affect all of that. It's all interconnected.
So you got to work on your body and your mind.
Come on.
How do you know if it's a low libido or if you and your partner just aren't connecting?
That's when you go to the professionals.
So you go
I
see
love
spirit.
to tell folks, yes, people like me. I will say, literally, you need to have the most solid team available to you because, like, utilize the luxury. You don't have to know. Just get to the professionals that know. Make sure you're going to your annual checkups every year. Make sure those annual checkups with your MD, your primary care provider, whoever that is, includes those lab work. And also recognize that a lot of times what they're finding is that you're experiencing symptoms long before the labs are even picking it up. So women will be having issues around perimenopause and not even know that that's what it is. They'll be having vaginal dryness, irritability,
So is there like a
mood
checklist
swings.
for perimenopause? Is that how you know?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Because it's not like a blood thing. It's like,
No, but
are you
but you
experiencing
can.
A, B, C, and then
Yeah, because you'll experience the symptoms oftentimes and your labs will still come back normal.
right.
But meanwhile, you'll be like, why are my nails so thin? Why is my hair breaking off? Why are my teeth shifting? Why am I not getting as aroused? I mean, I want it in my mind, but my body is not doing it. It's a whole list of things. And you'll go to the doctor and they'll go, oh, no, it's normal. You're just going through the change. And it's like, no, that's not normal. I want hormone replacement therapy. Let's go restore my life and my vibrancy. It's necessary.
And hormone replacement therapy, is it pills?
HRT. It looks different for everybody. So it can be creams, it can be injections, it can be patches. It just depends on who your doctor is and what those needs are. And it changes over time. Now they're doing stuff over the counter, compounding pharmacies. You can have folks order it and send it to you through the mail. But I like to go directly to a doctor and say, look at these labs, tell me where I'm at, and give me something directly for me.
Interesting.
Yes.
I did a whole body workup, and the part that you could add was hormones.
Yeah.
And
And
I
you
should've-
didn't
I
add
didn't
it?
do it. But it's the thing that I was most interested in. But there are people that do it here. So I'm gonna.
OBGYN can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
It'll
lot
change
of
your life.
yeah. It's a lot of people that really don't get that done, and nobody recommends to do it.
Yes.
What do you think about women that never had an orgasm before?
Oh, I'm so sorry,
so sorry
boo.
for you.
I am so
Do you feel
sorry
like
for
it's
you.
an age thing? Like,
No, I feel like it is oftentimes a lack of experience thing. And this is a really serious thing. 1 in 4 women have never had an orgasm.
ever.
Ever.
I like know a few of my girlfriends that literally have never. And
I
it's
feel like
always
when you're younger, you think you're having them, but as you
Yeah.
mature or know your body more, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that wasn't it. This is it.
Yeah, well, and I think because they don't know what they're
Oh.
supposed to
Oh,
be
there it
looking
is.
at. Yeah. No. It's like, wait, what are you doing to me? Whoa! Right. So before that, because they've never had one and they think it's supposed to be natural, so many women will just fake it. Right. Or they'll think that something's wrong with them. So then they just get used to faking it until they actually meet a partner that they're able to have that experience with. Or they learn how to masturbate the right way so that they know what they're actually into. So then they can show up in the bedroom and say, this is how you love me well. So I think it's a really hard thing, but I think anything that you set your mind to in terms of, I want to experience this, then you really can. Oh, yes.
I was talking to a girlfriend not too long ago, and she was saying how, and you kind of touched on this, but as she's gotten older, and she's single, so she's not necessarily dating the same person, but certain positions have become more painful. And it's not necessary. Well, I don't know if it's perimenopause or what, but she's not that old.
How old is she?
I believe she's in her early 30s.
Does she have children?
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing. So if she's in her early 30s, she could be. But after you have babies, one of the other things that they don't talk to us about is pelvic floor therapy. I actually met a nurse who that is all the work that they do. And one of the things that she told me I was shocked about, she said, after every baby, you should go in and get your uterus readjusted.
What? They can
Yes.
readjust.
How
it?
exactly
Yes,
do they readjust
because
the uterus?
literally the uterus is a separate organ in your body. And as that baby is growing in you, it is shifting and tilting your uterus. That's why, I don't know if you guys notice, but every time you have a baby, what you like sexually changes. It's because all the nerves and everything else, you're not the same. Yes. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm finding this out 7 children later. But I've liked all the phases, so we're okay.
7.
We just adjust. Let's go.
That's funny. Do you think that porn assists or takes away from genuine connection? In a
Yeah, I think it
relationship?
depends on the person or the couple or couples or whatever is the organization, because it's not always just 2 people. I think it is what they've learned about it. Sometimes it can work really well as a teaching tool because unfortunately, again, our society doesn't come up with really great tools. I remember I was trying to help a couple once and like the videos went back to the 1980s.
They were
And I
like,
had
"We
to
were
be
supposed
like,
do with
don't
this."
mind that Cyndi Lauper eyeshadow and the hair that had Aquanet
A lot more body
spray.
hair back then.
Right, okay. Although some folks are into that. There was like the carpet. What is happening? Oh, and it matches the drapes. Okay, yes, all of that. Oh, that's a whole nother
Wait, hold on,
story.
rewind. In the teaching tool, they're actually having sex?
Yeah, they actually have sex.
Okay, wait, what? So you're essentially showing an educational porn.
Yes, yes. Well, what you characterize as porn and what you characterize as educational looks different, although the acts are the same, right? Just like you wouldn't call somebody who's a sex surrogate, you wouldn't call them a prostitute, but the acts are the same.
What is a sex surrogate?
A sex? Oh, I love this. Oh,
Look, I would
yes.
talk to Spirit for 30 minutes
Yes.
and my life would be changed, okay? Every time.
Literally. So like think about a surrogate who would
Carry a baby.
carry a baby. Okay, so a sex surrogate is somebody who would teach you how to have sex or do things in order to help you restore sexual health. Yeah.
So you have sex with them.
Depending on what it is that you
Or they could
need,
just
varying
coach.
degrees of sexual activities. It doesn't always lead to penetration.
It's going to be a lot
but
of
it can.
Googling after this episode.
Yeah, I just have so many
They're
questions.
going to be like, what is sex surrogates and what states are they legal in? You know?
And like, is it a facility? It's a therapist. Like, I have questions.
It's different. It just depends on the state and the person. Some people can come to your home. Some people will
Wow.
have their own offices.
They have blowjob classes. That was a thing.
Yeah. Well, think about
for a
and
long
sex
time. But they
surrogates
use
can
like
be
little things, not
yeah.
actually on people
Think
that I
about
know
like
of.
there are different conditions like women that suffer from vaginismus or folks that have had sexual trauma or individuals who are sexually repressed or individuals who don't get a lot of sex period, and so their values or their morals or different things change over time, and all of a sudden they recognize this is a part of my life that I really want to be restored, or I've never had this part of my life. And so needing somebody to walk them through that in a safe, objective, really way that teaches them and gives them the tools and the confidence and the techniques, it can be life changing. I am not a sex surrogate. Let me,
I draw a line at sex.
I am not a sex surrogate. Okay. Mm-mm.
Okay, wait, go back to the porn because you asked the question about if porn can be helpful or
Yes,
not, and we kind of went
yes.
off track because I was learning.
Yeah, so I think again it depends on the individuals and it depends on the porn. It depends. And there are different categories, right? So like if you get into things like fetishes or that kind of thing, or right, there are ways that it can really exploit and just kind of look really distorted. But some people will tell me that they use it in order to get aroused. Some people will tell me that they use it to learn new positions, learn new techniques. They watch it together to learn what they're into, what their partners are into, right? Like it can be incorporated if the couple is open to it. Now, usually what'll happen is you may have one person that thinks that if my partner watches porn, that means that they don't want me, they don't love me. If they masturbate without me, then I'm offended, I feel inadequate. But I will also say, though, let's just preface this by saying that today's society is changing the porn thing completely. Because it used to be back in the day before everybody was so accessible, you watch somebody on porn, you put it away until the next time. Now you can have conversations with your favorite porn star. You can go meet your favorite porn star. You can pay them to have private sessions and all
OnlyFans.
kind of hello. So as the influencers have changed the porn game, it also changes the way the industry flows. It's different. So now when she's like, I don't want him watching porn, she has a little bit more of a legitimate reason, depending on who his favorite porn star is, and vice versa.
Learning your spouse's favorite porn star changes your life.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
Do you let
Tell
them
us
have
about
it
it.
still, or do you break her down?
No, I know you let them have it for sure, but it's just interesting because sometimes what people like, their idea of what they like sexually is not what they like about you, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just interesting to know.
Yeah, I had a couple once. She was dismayed, unfortunately, to find out she went into her husband's like computer history and found that his thing was big beautiful women,
Ooh.
BBWs.
Oh yeah, like Drake.
Yeah,
That's right.
and
BBWs.
and she is like literally like a little small waif
Oh
like thing.
man,
And so she was like, that's why they weren't there. But I'm nothing like what he would want. And he was
I
like,
wish
you
that's what I could
are.
find. I'm good.
You're like, here, have it. Let me just find the
That's what you
cachet
want?
for you.
No problem.
Have it, huh?
This I can make happen.
She said I can let it all go.
Order me all the burgers.
Yeah, but everybody is different. But I think that it is very intriguing though to find out what are you into? Because a lot of things turn people on that they don't even know about because we are so underexposed and we don't think about these parts of our lives. Yeah.
Do you find that a lot of couples, when they come in and they talk to you about marriage therapy, and sometimes it could be low libido or whatever it is, but maybe the woman isn't wanting it as much, or maybe the man isn't wanting it as much, and they've kind of just lost their flame. What advice do you give couples to kind of bring
Get back in the saddle?
back in the saddle, bring the fire back?
Yes. Well, first and foremost, you have to break the routine. Most of the folks recognize we are wash, rinse, repeat, but they're so into the focus of the day that they never really invest in their relationships, like how they invest at work, how they invest with the kids, how they invest with their girls, or how they invest with their boys. And so we don't really reinvest in igniting and keeping that part reignited. The other part is we got to do things more together. We stop getting curious about our partners after a certain point. We think, oh, I know everything about him. I already know what you're going to say. I already know what you're thinking. I already know what you want to eat. But we are always and forever changing. So you have to stay curious. And if you can stay curious, you can stay invested, and then you can keep the fire going. The last thing I will say is you have to know that love changes over time. Not necessarily how much you love somebody, although you could love them more or less, I suppose, but it's the hormones that you experience early in relationships change as the relationship goes on. So a lot of people think that they're falling out of love when they don't feel the butterflies anymore, when their hearts aren't, fluttering, their hands aren't getting sweaty. But it's literally you've just been together for a certain amount of time. So the hormones that you have now are a new set that are more like bonding, that are more like safety and security kind of hormones. So it's helping people understand what's happening as you go through different phases in your relationship. So then if you want to feel something else, you can create it.
Wow.
So would you suggest like date nights or?
I would suggest date nights if you decide let's do something different. If date night is the same restaurant every time because it's your favorite, that is wash, rinse, repeat. You will literally become one of those couples who talk more to the waiters and look at the people around, and you're talking about the other people around than you will talk about each other.
Or try new things.
Yes, because your body literally produces dopamine around new activity. So the more new that you can bring and do that with your partner, the more you can create excitement and spice in the relationship.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so when they say keep it spicy, keep it new, do new things constantly.
For the newbies, not the old married people like ourselves, do you think that there is a specific timeline or things that should be understood before sex? Is there like a trick to it?
Like before they're getting married?
Yeah, just like the very first time they're being intimate. Is there like a key time of like, make sure you know this, and this, or is it like?
Oh, yes. Okay, so make sure that you know about any past trauma history, okay, for both of you. And if you can't talk about that, then let's pause before we even talk about getting married.
Sexual trauma or any type of trauma?
Any type of trauma, because that affects your ability to be close, to feel safe, to feel secure, to be open and vulnerable. Okay, especially if we're talking sexual abuse trauma, though, and particularly for men who have found themselves molested by other men, because that will throw intimacy off in some really interesting ways, in the same way that women experiencing sexual abuse will throw off their ability to be intimate. So I would say definitely talk about history. Also talk about the idea of sex, because there are some folks who are very vanilla, who just think about sex as like service and obligation. And anytime that I want to have sex, you should give it to me. So we got to talk about what our sexual philosophies are going to be, what our dossiers are going to be.
Philosophies. I love this language.
Yes, because people don't even realize that they have one, and then they do. And especially the thing that kills me, especially as a woman at this age, is to hear younger girls go, well, I just give it to him whenever he wants it because, I mean, if I don't do it, then he's going to go somewhere else. So, whenever he taps me on the shoulder or he rolls me over, I just let him. What are we doing? Right. But a lot of men go, that's right. What are we doing? We're doing what we're supposed to do.
So you think that's not true? You don't,
What?
do you believe there's a connection to how often a wife has sex with her husband and if he has an infidelity? Is it less likely for it to happen if you're putting it
you
out
can
there?
be,
Like, if you do it
no,
6
I
times,
think,
the 7th day he's still
no,
gonna be
no,
outside.
no.
I agree.
If
But
that's
for the
that's
people
how
out
he's
there,
wired.
for the men that are listening,
I think that is one of the biggest myths. Men like to say, man, if she was giving it to me every day, I wouldn't go anywhere else. But usually when men are stepping out, it has nothing to do with what's happening in the relationship. Now, I will have some men who will tell me, oh, yeah, I did it after the baby, right? Or I did it because she was working all the time. But what you get into, it's not necessarily what's happening between them. It's what he's feeling on the inside. He's feeling neglected. He's feeling unseen. He's feeling unappreciated. It's not that he just can't keep it in his pants. That's how we make it seem, and we oversimplify men. They are emotional creatures just like us. They just don't realize it until they're sitting in the chair or on the couch with somebody like me after they done stepped out, and I got to help them understand what that infidelity was about. And it's hardly about, well, she just ain't giving it to me enough. Because even if she is giving it to you enough, that is not filling the hole necessarily that you're wanting.
I'm glad you cleared that up.
Preach
Yeah,
about
I'm just
it.
saying, but people think that that's what it is. And I get that sexual frequency is important. Let's not, act like libido is not a real thing. But let's not also act like women don't want sex, because we do. Right? So it just kind of goes both ways. And the other part of that also, let's talk about oftentimes that men aren't necessarily willing to do the work to help her have the energy to show
Ooh,
up
we
for
gonna
the
piss
sex.
people off.
Yeah, be pissed off. Be pissed off, then fix it.
Then fix it.
Okay? Be pissed off, then fix it.
Do you believe in soulmates? Do you think it's a thing?
I do, but I don't necessarily think that they're all sexual. And I don't necessarily think that the soulmate is the same thing as a life mate. Right.
What's the difference?
So I think that a soulmate is like a person who leaves like an indelible mark on your heart. And that no matter where you go in the world, whether you're together or not, that impression is always there. If you have the chance to see them again, you'll pick up right where you left off and it'll just feel all of those things. But listen, not everybody is made to be a life mate because you may not be compatible. They may only feel an emotional part of you or stimulate a mental part of you in just ways that nobody else does. But that doesn't mean that you go on life's journey together because that may not work.
I want to know about your love story.
Ooh. Oh my goodness.
Speaking of
that was my
soulmates and
girl.
life
Yes,
mates.
yes. Well, our love story was really interesting because I literally believe that we were probably made to be together, if there is such a thing as like soulmates or universe and life mates, all those things, because we literally went to the same college at the same time, never met each other. We know.
Really?
Yes, yes. He was with somebody during that time. I was with somebody during that time. Years later, we wound up working somewhere, worked together. It still was not our window, although we met each other then. The chemistry and attraction was like really intense and insane. My office mate, Tisha, I'm so sorry, girl, if you watching, because I know I always tell her I owe her because she used to walk in and she would be like, the tension in here, I'm just going to step out and give you guys the room. And
it would
I'd be
just y'all
like,
two.
yeah, well, he was the IT person. So like whenever he would come in and I was like a social worker. So it was like whenever he would come in and do the computers and stuff, we would just have really great conversations. But the chemistry was just always really, and still is really intense. People will be in rooms with us and be like, I don't know what this is, but, or they'll be like, see, why won't you do like what they doing? This is crazy.
I love that.
So yeah, he is literally my best friend. But when we were there at work, it just wasn't our time. And then later on, when I started needing some IT work years later, we just
So
circled
that's what we're gonna
back.
call it, Janine. We need some IT
We need some
work.
There you
IT
go.
work.
Listen, put in some work. Put in some
We
work.
got some wires. That need to
Yes,
be-
yes. But the crazy thing about it is that when we finally did get together, we recognized that we had the same friends.
Wow.
So like, because we're old. So Facebook was a thing at the time.
Oh, I
And
had
so
the
like when we
Facebook.
started, right. So when we went to Facebook and we started talking about different
Oh, it
people.
shows you everybody. Too, that you have in
Yes.
common.
So I was like, how do you know him? They'd be like, that's my dude. How do you know her? No, that's her. So when we came out as being together, everybody was like,
Finally.
we are together. Yeah. So
and how many years you guys been together?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. It's 21. Okay. So since 2005. So 20 years.
20 years,
20
7
years,
kids.
7 kids. But we are a blended family. So I have 2 children from my first marriage. I will say step here so people will understand, but she's been with me since she was 2. She will cut me. Okay. Right. That's my boo.
Your baby.
Yes. So he had a daughter and then we have 4 together. So, and it has just been a phenomenal ride. I love to
Wow.
say it's like to the boy having a sleepover with my best friend every night.
I love it.
Like, yeah,
and the
we have a
ages
great
of
time.
your kids, oldest. Or...
Let's see if I get it right because they're all having birthdays, right? Okay, so 28,
Okay.
24, 21, 15, 14, 9, and 7. I did it.
You have a 7-year-old.
Yes.
7-year-old.
Yes.
So you're still in the thick of it.
Oh, yeah.
The rate in the raising
Yeah,
phase.
listen, I have one that's getting a PhD and I got one that literally is in the first grade. Like
Wow.
he graduated from his master's program. She graduated from kindergarten. Like that was the spread.
Which is really interesting, and it's phenomenal that you're able to do that, but you're also working.
Yes.
A lot.
And we work together. And we work together.
Even now.
Yes. My
Oh,
husband and I, we work
wow.
together.
So I don't want to use the word balance because I don't think it exists, right? I do believe that one part of our lives
Yes.
always gets a little bit more attention just at different
Yes.
times, right?
But to me, that is balance. It is how do you stack everything and arrange it so that it all balances out. And it doesn't mean 50%, 50%. It's like sometimes this is 10, sometimes this is 30, sometimes this is 60, right? Like that's kind of how it works. And then they may be interchangeable.
But with children, and I'm sure you would agree, they always require a little more than
Yes.
everything else happening in your life,
Yes.
right? And in your case, you emotionally have to be there for 7 human beings.
Yes.
How do you, and clients, how do you juggle all of this? Like, I know for me, if one of my kids, and I have 3, if one of my kids isn't happy, then I'm not happy.
Of course.
When in case of 7, somebody's bound to not be happy.
Girl, this is not a Frost kid, okay? This is not a Frost kid. So yes, to your point. But I think one of the things is recognizing that they are kind of spread out. So you hear that age difference. And then we decided in the end to kind of put them a little closer so they could kind of just like have buddies. Well, have buddies. Like, you know, the other ones had like their own individual lives. They got to kind of have the space. But what I learned is, one, I don't have children as a conglomerate. They are their own individuals. They have their own needs. And I have to remember that they are all going through their journey for the first time. And it wasn't until like my second kid and then my third where I was like, oh, I got to do first heartbreaks 7 times. I got to do kindergarten 7 times. So like when my husband, because he wanted to have 10 children, to be honest with you. 10 was his number. And then when we got to 7, I was like, I don't want to do kindergarten again. I can't do it.
Rough.
I'm like, So, but it really comes down to how do we support each other as a family and how do we see ourselves as individuals? So they have their own individual relationships and then we have our own individual relationships. They don't all need the same thing. They don't all want the same thing. And our thing is raising your child the way that they're bent. Right. So what are they naturally inclined to do? And then we're just like, we really love being parents. I just got to say, it's not like they're the kids unto themselves. They are up under us all the time. You know, 3 of the 5 that are still in the house at any given time are probably in our bed. We're like, yeah, like I literally spent last night. Okay, I'll give you the rundown of how this goes. Right. So I literally spent.
Right. I was saying,
it's a California king. Okay, and we talked about doubling it seriously, right? So, because the other ones will walk in and go, and I have to go, there's no sleeping in the bed. You're too big. You're killing my back. But like literally, so last night it was my husband and I, we spent that time watching Ironheart with and this is not a promo, okay? But we spent that time watching that with 3 of the kids. And then one of them was off playing video games. The other one came out and was like, I don't want to do this. I'm going to go walk the dogs. And then the other one was going out with her boyfriend, right? So like, this is just the way it goes. So it feels like it's a well-organized chaos all the time.
Is there ever a time when they're like, Mom, don't therapy me?
Yeah, all the time.
Like turn it off.
But it's twofold. It's don't therapize me, but I get that even from my own parents. So it is what it is. And it's because inevitably at some point I require them all to go to therapy. So when they get to a
make them go.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, because to me it is not a make. It is a safe place that I am giving you to process your own journey and to make sure you arrive into adulthood as a whole, healthy, self-actualized human being. So for me, it's a luxury. So when I go, I think that this is a good time for you to go. They go, oh, I know what you're going to say. I got to have a therapist. I don't want to go to therapy. Right. So it's that kind of thing. But I think at the end of the day, you know, and the other thing is that has made it easy is I am not the kind of parent that is trying to, in the balance, have like a beautiful home and beautiful cars and all of those things. We knew that as parents, we wanted to have healthy, thriving children. So I don't have the Better Homes and Garden house. I have the house where there is paint on the walls and there is the scribbles on the walls and the kids have well-adjusted nervous systems because they get to be themselves. I don't have the expectation for the nice cars and that I'm going to Monaco with my girls every weekend, right? Like we go on family vacations when we're lucky. We like to do things that are very low key and we focus on us as a family. So the journey just looks different. And I think that creates more balance because we get to show up as humans and not necessarily as this thing that we're trying to be. It's just different.
It's clear that being a licensed therapist has been great for your kids. It's really helped them, right? Do you feel the same for your marriage? Do you feel like being a therapist has helped or hurt?
Oh, gosh, no, it has helped me tremendously. I say that my clients have helped me just as much as I help them. And I don't even know, even with my kids, I will say, though, like having a mom as a therapist doesn't absolve them from problems. Like my kids have had depression. They've had anxiety. I have a child that has ADHD. I have one that has has a receptive learning disorder, like it doesn't absolve you, because to be human means we're susceptible to health conditions, right? But I think as it relates to having a marriage, what I learned very early in is that my clients showed me what not to do. And what I learned is that marriages do not fall apart all at one time. It is death by 1,000 cuts. So what that has taught me is to have a lot of discipline about not just building, but maintaining an incredible marriage, right? So all of our traditions, our 2 kisses every time we leave, our you don't get to leave without doing certain things, all of our rituals, all of our 30-second hugs and 20-second kisses, like these are real things that are just natural parts.
Over the years.
Yes, yes. And in the beginning, he would be like, oh gosh, what client did it now? No, he'd be like, who are you seeing today? Because I don't know, right? Now it's just like when I have bad dreams, and then he'll be like, what did I do? What did I do? But it's those interesting kinds of things that you really learn what creates success. And then I share it, and I would be a fool not to give it to myself and not to give it to my family in the same way I give it to everybody else.
So we're all about self-care. Self-care isn't selfish, is how selfish got its name. And then the ish got its name because of selfish.
Come on now, come on.
So now we want to get into your ish a little
Yes,
bit.
come on.
Yo-ish.
What does emotional wellness look like for you?
Emotional wellness looks like being slow enough in my life that I can hear my thoughts and that I can be connected to how my body is actually feeling. How my soul is sitting and vibrating in my body. Do I feel like my heart is going to thump out of my chest? Do I feel like I can't take a deep breath? Are my thoughts racing faster than what I can really catch up to and manage? Do I really feel like I'm connected to myself? And so I treat myself kind of like how I treat my clients. And I tell them, depending on what industry it is, I try to use metaphors. But like typically I'll say, like, imagine that you have like the best executive assistant in the entire world, right? The best. That's who you're supposed to be to your soul.
Oh.
You are supposed to be your soul's best executive assistant that can overthink, like Johnny on the spot for everything that you need in order to be able to thrive. So when your soul is like, I'm kind of cold, they go, oh, I know you like cashmere. I got this extra nice blanket for you. No worries. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Man, I really got a taste for Chinese. I know the best spot. Man, I really need to get some rest. I know that you like the room turned down. I know that you want to do this, right? So like self-care to me, I think it's become kind of bastardized where everybody thinks that it's like, oh, let me go get my hair done. Let me get my nails done. And I'm like, no, boo, that is management, right? That is maintenance. That's not the same as self-care. Self-care is, are you taking care of you, your soul, the inner parts, the deeper recesses that nobody else can see and hear unless you share it with them? Are you taking care of that in such a way that you can thrive? Are you having a love affair with yourself? And if you had no words, if I could not hear you speak a single thing, would I be able to look at you and know how much you love yourself? And if it was not a high level of love, would you know what to do in order to change that?
So
like that's self-care too.
With you being the professional, when you're having a hard time, who is it that you go to?
Oh, my husband. Because when I tell you, like, he's literally my best friend, but we are literally like night and day too. So like I am a highly empathetic, highly intuitive person. I cry a lot, and he's more like The Rock. So he'll just be like, do you need a hug? And I'm like, yes, I just want to fall apart. And he'll just be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Again, he's IT, right? So he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are we crying for, babe? I'm like, I'm crying for the whole world. The baby's on the news. And he's like, okay, are we almost done? How much more time do you? Okay, I got you. Right. So I think it's just a way of being able to do that. And then my best girlfriend. I have like the most amazing girlfriend from high school that is totally the opposite of me, like in every way. So like I am this, she is like a white, blonde haired, blue eyed lesbian libertarian.
Really?
Like, yes, that is we will eventually have a compound, me, her, and my husband. Okay. Like that is it. And every so often when something is going wrong in the world, I can just pick up the phone and just text her and just go, tell me that the world is still okay. And she's like, Yep, it is. And anytime you want to run away, I got you.
Wow.
Right. And
That's a
so
good
it's just,
friend.
yeah, just to let you know again that everything is all right, even in the midst of the chaos.
We all need a grounded good friend. I think that's you, Janine.
Yes.
Is that me?
You're usually sunshine and rainbows. It's fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay.
Oh,
She's
is
different.
she?
No, you know what? I'm
Or we're both like manic, crazy people all together. But usually one
Aw.
of us is the
I think that other friends would say the total opposite. I think I'm the friend that has learned to be who each of my friends need. You, I know you need that. I know if I fall apart with you, we both just gonna be on, and we ain't getting nowhere.
Well, sometimes that's
I
okay.
bring you back
Sometimes
up
that's
too.
all.
I'm
That's
a voice
all.
of reason.
No, for sure. Well, if I'm falling apart, I know I can go to you, and you typically don't fall apart with me. You'll be like, girl, pull this
Bring it in.
together.
But not for ourselves, child. But it's good to have that friend. I'm glad I got that friend. How do you personally define boundaries in your own life?
Oh, boundaries is where I get to love you and me simultaneously. Right.
What does
So
that look like?
that looks like if this is where my line is, this is an invitation for you to meet me in that space. It is not for you to cross it because that's a boundary violation. And it's not for you to be way over there because then we're disconnected.
So meet me at the
So it
line.
is, yes. So
I
it's
like
like,
that.
let me show you who I am, what I need, what makes me tick, and the experiences that I want to have. And having someone who is compatible enough that they want that in equal measure. And not only do they want it because that's motivation, but do they have what's necessary to be able to create that experience with me? That to
I love
me is
that.
the right boundary.
Meet me at the line.
Yes.
It's tough though, because when doing it, and I know there's a healthy way to do it, but sometimes you worry about hurting the person's feelings that you're creating the boundary for.
Oh, then that's not healthy. That's self-betrayal.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's self-betrayal. And it's only tough in the beginning when you're not used to doing it. And I can tell you that as a like a rehabilitated boundary setter. Okay. I had like no boundaries because it was like emotionally, if you tell me that you need something, I want you not to suffer. I don't like for people to be unhappy, uncomfortable, all of those
Empath.
things.
It's
Oh
exhausting.
yeah, because listen, I know how you feel when you don't.
Right.
I know you sad.
I'm
I know
carrying it
you're
around
mad.
with me.
Right. And you
Yeah.
know you can't name it. I can. I know what it is.
For sure.
But it gets easier when you do it, and when you recognize that every time you don't, you are betraying yourself. I decided that I had to love me more because they were loving themselves. That's where the boundary violation is. If you're okay with me being uncomfortable or me being hurt or me feeling sad or ashamed or whatever it is that you crossing that boundary is causing me to feel, and we're not working on fixing that together, then I got to take care of me because we're both taking care of you. And there is no balance in that.
Do you find that it's different setting boundaries depending on the type? Well, yeah, the type of relationship. So whether it's a friendship, a marriage, a parental relationship,
Yeah.
parent-child,
Yeah.
setting those boundaries looks differently, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I think oftentimes it's the closer the person emotionally, the harder it is to set the boundary. And in certain cultures, and it's not like race or ethnicity or those kind of things, but it can be familial, it can be regional, it can be whatever it is. If your culture taught you that you don't set boundaries with certain people, then it feels impossible because you learn literally, I should not. And so there are places and spaces where people have learned, I'm your mother. You just take what it is that I say.
Yeah.
And then if I'm walking all over you, I don't care how you feel, fix your face. I don't want to know that you feel any kind of way about it. Right. Or with a partner, I'm afraid to set a boundary because I'm afraid then he's going to cheat on me. Right. These are some things that we do where, again, we're betraying ourselves because we're hoping that in doing that, that's going to keep everything okay. But when you will keep the environment outside of you cool and start a war within yourself, that is the most unhealthy thing you can do. And it's literally taking years off your life.
I love that. My life has ever changed when Spirit's around.
Aw.
The gems. Are you a fan of journaling? So in my own therapy, that's the one thing that I do really well with therapy.
Yeah.
But it's the one thing that is hard for me to get into. Like I put the app on my phone and even will suggest, today you did a Ish podcast with Janine. Do you want to write about it? And I'll look and be like,
You have an app for that?
I have an app for that. It reminds you to journal about everything you did that day. And it will like look at where you were and it'll look at your photos. And it's just the thing that I do sometimes, but I can't
See,
Are you a
let me
fan
let
of
me let me
journaling?
hopefully free you, because I
Okay.
would say, child, if you got to do all that, journaling is
Okay.
not for you.
It's not for me. It's not my
It's not for
ministry.
it's not for everybody. Although
Okay.
I will say, this is one of the things that we talk about, how the integration of AI can actually help and not hurt. For our clients who are really good with it or who are looking for deeper kind of insights and self-awareness, I will actually tell them to journal using one of those devices and have specific prompts to help them pull certain things out of what that work is.
Let's
Right?
talk about AI in therapy. That
Yes.
is amazing.
Oh, it's really, there are ways that it can be absolutely amazing and complete game
Because some people
changers
think that
in the work.
ChatGPT is their therapist.
Yeah, and that's the
And it's
no-go.
not.
That's
That's the
not.
no-go.
No.
But I
in
will tell
addition
you,
to,
yes,
probably could help out.
yes, and I will tell you, to the point, AI is not there yet. I do think eventually it will be, which is why I tell my colleagues to level up. I used to tell them years ago, don't feed the machine. Right? Because that's literally what was happening. They were going and letting their sessions be recorded by certain people, and they extrapolated the data, but we're here now. So that's what it is. But what I think is the AI is not there yet. I have utilized several different websites, just kind of pretending like I was a person with different problems.
Okay.
And the AI will hallucinate. It will say things that have been at times dangerous. It has said things that are
Be tripping
not
out.
always, yes, because it doesn't have all the
I
answers.
watched you. You ever watch Black Mirror?
Yes.
I haven't, but you guys, you tell me about it all the time.
So every time I'm like, I love AI. I think it's changing the world. I think it's what the internet used to be. It's going to change
I love
the world
it. I love it.
as a tool. But sometimes I'll just watch Black Mirror, and it's basically all kinds of technology turning on you every second.
That's always been. Listen, I'm
Just to be a
old
little
school,
more,
so I remember Terminator, right?
Oh,
I remember.
yeah.
Basically,
Okay.
every episode is
Yes.
like Terminator.
Yes.
Like it's so it pulls me back when I'm going too deep into the AI.
Yes.
It brings me
Really?
back to life.
Yeah. But I think, to your point about journaling, I was doing journaling way when I very first started doing this work. And what I like to
I'm always
do
afraid somebody's
is,
gonna pick it up like in the movies.
see,
my
so I
innermost thought.
have a whole safe for my clients. Like, so
That's
if you don't
important.
have a safe place for your
Really?
journals,
That's
oh
important.
yeah, I
I
keep
think that's why people
everybody's.
don't do it. They're afraid somebody's gonna read
Yeah.
it.
And
Yeah.
now you can do it electronically
Yeah.
too. So I'll have them do it in their
on the phone,
healthcare
it's like
portals.
face recognition.
I'll
So-
say
Yeah.
this, right? You said journaling feels like, it almost feels like a chore, right? And I felt the same way. When I was in therapy, I'm always in and out of therapy for anyone that cares.
And we
but
are.
currently I'm discharged.
Every now and then we get
Every now and
discharged.
then.
And we circle the block.
But that was one of the things that was always suggested to me, right? And I never did it. Mainly because of, like you said, it just felt like another thing I had to do. Or it felt like I was reliving whatever the things were that were bothering.
That's specifically why I like journaling. Okay, so I'll tell you what the technique that I would always do with my clients, and I still do. I will say, go to whatever store you want to go to and find 2 journals that really speak to your heart. Because one, if you don't like it, you're not writing in it. So, pick something. Some people will pick 2 of the same thing. Other people will pick, different ones. And we would have a trade-off. So I would always have one and they would have one. And every time they come back, we would change. And I would use their journal almost like a fly on the wall. So some people I would say write and just free flow. And other people who struggle, I would say write letters to me. And then what I would do is I would look for the themes and patterns in their storyline. So I would say, so do you realize for the last year you've been struggling with boundaries? No, I didn't realize it. Okay, let me get the orange highlighter. There's a boundary, there's a boundary, there's a boundary, there's a boundary, there's a boundary. Do you recognize that your partner has done this 19 times in the last 3 months? No, I didn't, because you always forgive. There it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. Do you recognize that you have beings in your life? So it can be really insightful. It can be a tool that really helps, but you have to understand it as a tool. Journaling sometimes can be just to express and to vent and have a safe place where it lives outside of you. Sometimes I will tell clients, let's do that as the to-do thing, so your brain will stop rehearsing and hanging on to stuff. You can put it there. Your brain knows where it lives. We can tackle it as you need or want
That's me and
to.
my reminders with my anxiety. My reminders app
Yes.
is crazy, and I have to put it there so it's not
Come on. So then you can
flirting around in my
sleep.
head, and it's life changing.
Yeah.
Well, I finally...
Maybe that's why I'm not journaling. I'm too busy putting down what I got to do tomorrow.
I finally started journaling, and maybe 6 months ago, life changing. Yeah, but I guess I'm not changing it with a therapist, but I do go back and I read, and I use my journal for it. So it's my journal, my prayer log, and for meditation. So if I just need to just get something out and then I'll meditate on whatever it is that I wrote, and it serves several purposes. I even write some notes when I work stuff. But anyway, I don't think that should live in there.
No, so here's a real
Limited
cool thing.
reminders app.
So you talk about AI and doing this, right? You can go back, take photos of all of your journals that you want to, scan it into the AI and tell it to give you the themes, or tell it to point out your growth over the years, or tell it to point out what you're actually
Now
praying
that I
for.
love.
Tell it to tell you how to help you manifest what it is that you're praying for. Give you step-by-step techniques
See,
to
this
how
is
do
where
I do
AI
this
is
in 6
good.
months.
Because what I do go back and I'll read over them, and it's always interesting to see, like, oh, God answered that prayer and I didn't even notice it.
Yes.
Or, oh, I've come such a long way because just last week I was stressed about A and now I could care less.
Exactly. It's powerful. I even had a client who was like in her 30s who went home and found some of her little diaries. And I won't say little like that, but like they were little diaries from when she was like 9 years old.
I would love to see what
And when I
9-year-old
tell
me was writing about.
that part, and what it helped her do was to recognize like conflict that she had in her family, conflict in relationships that she had. And she was like, I didn't realize I had been struggling with these things my entire life. I'm not crazy. This is a very real thing for me. And it helped her change the way she started setting boundaries immediately by having that past reflection. Yeah, it can be really powerful.
Yeah. I want to do rapid fire. We done took you all deep.
Come on.
in.
Yeah, we went deep.
We
Let's
can
have some fun.
We can have
Come
fun.
on. We can do it all. Let's go.
This is my favorite thing of everything. Okay. We've kind of already answered this. Scheduling sex, yay or nay?
Absolutely, yay.
Yay. Stay and fight through it, or protect your peace and walk away.
Ooh. It depends on if you begin with the end in mind. I don't think that that's an easy thing. If there's the motivation to fix it and you just need the tools, then yay.
Okay.
But if there's no motivation and no tools, gotta be absolute.
Virtual therapy or on the couch?
It depends on what the issue is.
You think some things should be in person?
Yeah, the data tells us, and I have found that virtual can be just as effective for certain diagnoses, but there's a lot that gets missed. So for me, I like to see if your toe is tapping. I like to see what's happening from below your chest
Are
down.
you in your drawers and
Come
just a
on,
shirt because you can't get dressed?
Or are you doing like this on the bottom, but up here you look like
Right.
everything is perfectly fine, but
Yeah.
you're fidgeting and ticking and your anxiety is through the roof,
Yeah,
and I can't
you
see
can't tell.
that. Right. So plus I love hugs. I am a hugger and I am all about chakras and energy. So in person whenever
You're
I
a good
can.
hugger.
You are a good hugger.
Oh.
Now, because
Oh,
she times
I
it.
love
Now I
it.
know the secret.
Yes.
She's probably
You
giving us
timed
10
the hug.
second
Oh no, the 30-second hug. Oh no, you don't want that one. That's a whole
That's
after
called
dark
first base.
conversation.
Oh, after dark, huh?
All right, for you, family cookout or quiet weekend retreat?
Ooh, is it my nuclear family? I'm gonna say, even if it's not, family cookout.
Family cookout.
Although I
Me
do
and
love a
everybody.
good retreat. Mhm.
TV or radio for you?
Radio.
Radio still.
Yeah, music.
Still your passion.
Yes, I love music.
And you're still doing radio, right?
Yes.
You still do segments.
Oh yes, and I will eventually. I will go back to radio when I have time. I love it. There's nothing like live callers. That's how I do Free Advice Friday, because I'm like, let's punch in, let's talk to the people. I like talking directly to the people.
I love your Free Advice Fridays.
Oh, thank
Sometimes
you.
I'm like, oh, I was wondering the same thing.
See? Yes. I have people send me like their notebook tear outs and stuff. I'm like, yes, let's go.
Watching movies or TV binge watching?
Oh,
I feel like you don't have time to be.
I
binge watching
like binge. Okay, if I can't binge it, binging is just now like watching a movie. But if
Yeah.
it's a series and it's every week, we are fighting. Like
Yeah.
that makes me so mad.
Same.
I
same,
cannot.
Same. Are you watching anything now?
Well, the Ironheart, definitely. I just finished Severance. That one was very
I love
interesting.
Severance.
Do you?
You didn't. I was talking about it on the group chat over and over again.
Yes.
I love Severance. It was trippy, but like good. And it was
Yes.
just like I like, especially when I have a lot going on. I like shows that have like a monotone. That's like,
Yes.
and it's one of those shows. But
Long
it's
story
good.
short, it's if you had the chance, would you put a chip in your brain that
Yes.
separates work
Yes.
from the rest of
It
your
sounds
life?
like a dream.
So when you go to work, you only think about work. You don't have any awareness of your real life. And then when you drop down off the elevator and you go outside, you have no idea
Oh,
about work.
chip me, baby. Chip me anytime.
I don't know. You should watch the show.
Yeah, it's trippy, and I don't think
Yes.
I've seen anything like it. So that's a good
Yes.
one. One myth about therapy that's untrue.
That it's only for crazy folks. Yes. Prevention is the best.
It is.
Man, I mean, if
You
I
would
could
save
get
a lot of time if
Come
you're
on.
preventative.
Oh my gosh. Plus all the mental health conditions that people are carrying from childhood that they don't even know that they have. Or that it's expensive. Now, I can be expensive depending on the thing, but I also have lots of clients I've been seeing for free for years.
Wow, because you're
So-
just that passionate about them.
Oh,
Mental-
yes.
Wow.
They are my
That says
people.
so much about you, Spirit. That doesn't surprise
Aw.
me at all. It
Look,
really doesn't.
Look,
you
my staff
empath.
usually says, so here's a tidbit, right? I'll tell you this real quick. So part of working in our practice, we required all of our clinicians to commit to having at least 2 pro bono or sliding fee scale slots, right? Yeah, I got to the point where mine was like 10 times that number. And so my staff would literally be like, do you want to keep the lights on? Or do you just want to go
Right.
put a chair like on the sidewalk? And I was still literally like, I mean, a flip chair. And you're like, we could reach the people. So like it literally mattered.
I know philanthropy is your thing. Like you have a passion for it, and you actually have a nonprofit, correct?
Yeah. So, and it was an interesting thing because I never saw it as philanthropy. It always has just been about how can we reach more people and recognizing that the people that need help the most, we will never be able to see in the office. And so it literally started with community and then it just kind of grew nationally and then it became a global movement. And so the more that we've gotten into it, it has been how can we help as many people as possible, teach them how to take care of their own communities.
And what's it
so
called?
It's called T2S Cares.
Okay.
And CARES is an acronym for Creating Access Responsibly for Everyone Sustainably. So we work to build global mental health systems. We train people in basic models all over the world. How do you learn the basic models to take care of each other? And then how do you modify that for what it needs to look like in your community for you to be well?
Wow.
Mhm.
I know that you did some work in Africa.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
So it's interesting because it started off as part of a global mental health documentary that we were working on. And we started off in Ghana and Liberia. And then when we got there, we recognized how great the need was and how limited the resources are. And so that has become the flagship for we're actually working on establishing mental health as the first achievable goal in universal health coverage. And so we are going to launch the global pilot in Liberia. And we are working with the Ministry of Health there in order to establish universal mental health coverage there.
That's
phenomenal.
Changing the whole
amazing.
world. We forgot world changer. at the
There
bottom
we
of her.
go. There we go.
That's phenomenal. Do you feel
Yeah.
like mental health in certain countries is overlooked?
Absolutely. There are places and spaces where people don't even have a word that translates to mental health.
Yeah.
And there's stigma everywhere, even here in the United States,
For
right?
sure.
But in certain places and spaces, people still believe that it is due to shame that's been brought in on the family, due to possession, due to, need for all of these things. And there are places and spaces where people will drive hundreds of miles away from home with their loved one that's suffering from a mental health condition and drop them off on the side of the road and keep going
Wow.
so that they don't bring shame to the community. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And, I had a really honorable opportunity to speak before the committee at the United Nations a few months back on this.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really a high level meeting that is happening in September where mental health is on the table for the first time on the global stage as something that really needs to be addressed in the global healthcare scheme. All the social and commercial determinants of health, meaning all the things that are making us unwell. And so it's really been great to be able to weigh in on that at that level.
Can I play devil's advocate to your question?
No, you can play the ancestors and the angels advocate. Devil got enough advocates.
No devil.
Come on, hallelujah. Let's go, Yahuwah.
We obviously know that in other countries they don't have as much access to mental health. But do you feel that in the U.S. it's a little overdone? I feel like everything now is about mental health, mental health, mental health. And that's a good thing. But do you think the term is being a little overused?
Yeah, I think it's just become, again, one of those bastardized things. I think what people think are mental health is not. I think that part of that has to do with just the way that social media has become wildfire. And I think that influencers have kind of changed the game. I think if you look at things like TikTok and Instagram, as they're doing like data now on some of the top performing mental health pages, that like something like 80% of the information is misinformation. And a high number of that is like dangerous information.
Wow.
So I think, unfortunately, the people who are educated and can actually help people are not the people that have the microphones and the large platforms. And those that do, well, that's a little dangerous. And then I think also that it's very interesting because we have colleagues who are licensed therapists, but they're not necessarily practicing therapists, but they still call themselves therapists, and they don't necessarily know what is happening in the changes in society. So a lot of the information that they're giving is a little dated, is a little kind of not quite there. But everybody is at a time where we all want to be seen, we all want to be heard, and we all want the mic because we think we have something to say, even if we don't necessarily have the right thing to say.
What would your advice be to a therapist that's like, oh my gosh, Spirit is doing this, like your resume is resumeing. Okay. The kids do, we're trying to do this.
I would say that,
How do you keep your integrity and get to where you are? Like, how do you do that?
I would say that you have to want the journey, not the moments. And I think a lot of people want the moments, but they don't recognize what the journey is. They see me on these platforms and they go, I want to do exactly what it is that you do. And then when I say, come on, come do it, they will literally go, I don't want to work this hard. And I go, but this is the journey. So when you see me on television, understand that that is 20 years in the making. Understand we shot that 3 years ago. Understand we talked about that 5 years ago. There is a business through it. And so they don't want the business, they want the show.
Yeah.
And so I think really, again, it goes back to if you really want to do what it is that I do, then understand that it really starts in the office. Recognize I still see more than 40 clients a week.
Right now.
Wow. Right. And so most folks will be like, oh, hell no. Oh, full time
I'm
to
just trying
them
to
is
go do the show.
yes. They're like, I don't really want to see clients. Right.
Yeah.
So that's always the conversation I have now. I'm like, okay, like if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, does it make a sound? I'm like, okay, if you're a licensed therapist and you're not seeing clients, are you actually a therapist?
Right.
Or are you something else?
Yeah.
So it's just a very interesting time that we're in.
You've given us
So
a lot
much.
to
So much.
take home and think about, and you done
And
turn the
Google.
couch into your couch.
I tried not to. I tried not to. Listen, I didn't ask you how you feeling. I didn't ask you what's going on at home with these children. Yes, but it was really nice to be here.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Y'all are the ish. Y'all are the ish for real. This is rightfully named.
We appreciate that. We just finished filming a podcast, and can you guess where we're going next?
Black Swan, of course. I want lamb chops, I want cauliflower, I want all the things.
If you haven't been, we have the best chicken box around.
For sure.
So if you're hungry, if you're in the Baltimore area, just visiting, or if you're tuning into our podcast and want to come to Baltimore, you can also meet us at Black Swan, where the food is amazing.
Black Swan, that's Eat at Black Swan, BLKSWAN. Follow us on Instagram, come and visit us, it's always a vibe.
Tell them Janine and Keisha sent you. If you've been watching our episodes, I'm sure you've noticed this amazing piece of art behind us. Shout out to our friend Be More Tough for providing us with this beautiful piece of art.
He has amazing textiles, he's so talented, he was gracious enough to let this piece live in season 1. But follow him on Instagram at Be More Tough and see all the amazing things that he's doing. He's phenomenal.